So we need to take a look at this sketch of particles, and we have two things going on in this sketch that it's important for you to be able to observe and kind of see the difference. So we have particles, molecules that are bonded together that have only atoms from the same element bonded together, like you see across the top, across this way. And then you have particles that are bonded together like these down here that actually have more than one particle. There's more than one atom down here, obviously, but also they are particles whose atoms come from at least two different types, two different elements. So if we're looking, all of these up here, all of these, if we were going to try to bracket these guys, all of these in the top, they're molecules. There's more than one atom bonded together. And the way we understand a molecule is that a molecule is more than one atom bonded together. Just a molecule. So these guys down here also are molecules, but there's something different and special about these molecules, because these molecules, yeah, they have more than one atom bonded together. Here's a molecule with two atoms bonded together, but not from the same element. There's a nitrogen atom and there's an oxygen atom. And so some of you will recognize this as the water molecule. It's just different color. But you have two different elements, atoms from two different elements making up this particle. As you have here with nitrogen and two oxygens, and as you have here with carbon and two oxygens. So while all of these particles in this sketch are molecules, they're not all molecules of compounds. So if we were going to label this, we would have to say these guys down here, these molecules across the bottom, are molecules that make up what? That's right, compounds. So these are all molecules that would make up compounds. However, these guys up here, these are molecules, but we actually call them diatomic molecules. These are molecules that make up particles that are only made up of one element. So let me clear this page and let me show you this sketch. So again, here's just some sketches, and I'm going to come back to this and give you a chance to get these down in your notes. But you have a water vapor molecule that has three atoms in it. This is a particle with three atoms. There's at least two different elements. That guy right there is going to be a particle that makes up a compound. Here's methane. You didn't see this guy on this slide right here. Methane's not here. But here's methane. And so methane is a particle that has five atoms that come together to make this molecule. And this is, again, this is a molecule that makes up a compound, as does carbon dioxide, which you looked at in this sketch right here. Here's carbon dioxide, as does nitrous oxide, and you looked right here. Now, it just so happens that these four guys right here are also greenhouse gases. And so these become important for us to become familiar with, not just in the matter and atoms unit, but also when we start taking a look at energy, and specifically when we look at the greenhouse effect and how solar radiation is affected by the presence of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. So we're going to come back to these and sketch these, but I want to go up and show you some other molecules. Well, these are, some other interesting molecules, and as you look at these and you consider these, so we're thinking about here's a hydrogen molecule that has 2 atoms. Here is a nitrogen molecule that has 2 atoms. Here is a oxygen molecule, and a fluorine molecule, and a chlorine molecule, and a bromine molecule, and an iodine molecule, all that have 2 atoms, and they're all molecules, but these molecules don't make compounds. These we would call, and you don't have to remember this, but these would be called diatomic molecules. And that just means they're diatomic, di meaning 2, atomic, 2 atoms, so diatomic molecules, but they don't make compounds. They're generally these are molecules that do not make compounds. They make up pure substances. And then we see a couple of larger molecules, all of the same atoms also. So what you need to understand, what's important for you to understand from this particular video, is that molecules are any particle that is made up of 2 or more atoms. Any particle would be a molecule if it's made up of 2 or more atoms. If the molecule is actually made up of atoms from different elements, then these would be molecules that will actually make up a compound. And going back to this original sketch that we had here, you have, again, molecules of all kinds. If they have more than one element, atoms of more than one element, these are going to be molecules that make a compound. If they're molecules whose atoms are only from one element, the same element, then they're molecules, but they don't make up compounds. These would be making up pure substances. Okay, so it would be good for you to pause the video here and get these sketches down, either on a blank sheet of paper that you can glue into your journal, but a blank sheet of paper if you have it. That would be best. If you have to use the lined paper or in your journal, that's fine. But blank paper is really best when you're doing this. So go ahead and get these sketched, and then we'll take a look at the next video.